Alrighty, incredible greetings. As promised, this is our official last live with the professor, and because we are about to watch Bad Boys because MJ hasn't seen the latest one, so we're about to have family movie night. Of course, that won't take us into the new year, but yeah, I gotta help him wrap this up so that we can watch Bad Boys, Bad Boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Alrighty, let's go ahead and get this all shared out. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. Gonna die. I know it says 7 o'clock. Don't worry about it. And it's so crazy. His picture actually popped up on my phone. Hey, Arsha. But let's go ahead. Actually, not even 8 o'clock on the dot. It's 7:54. Let's see. We are going to share this out. I was hoping to have it all shared out so that we can get into the nitty gritty of it all by 8 o'clock. Um, so I started a little bit earlier, and I was actually over here working on the thumbnail. Tomorrow morning, I am going to start the new year with the new version of Soy Studio, not on my main computer. I'm gonna bring in my laptop and set up over there because, baby, I never, ever, ever, ever put the newest version on my main computer that I work from. Not gonna happen, Captain. But we are going to take a look at version 5 tomorrow. I'm actually going to schedule that one out for tomorrow morning. Um, who here uses Silhouette? Is there anyone that has already downloaded and is using the newer version of Silhouette Studio? They now have Silhouette Studio version 5, which I knew that was coming out. Let's see here. Okay, so we have changed the audience on that. Let's go ahead and hit share. Okay, that one's not working. So let's go over here to the internet. Um, okay, let's try and get this all shared out. How is everyone? Okay. Why is nothing working with? Okay, let's try this again. All right, let's go. Okay, it's not working on my phone, but it works from the computer to use at followers. Okay. Oh, Alrighty, there we go. So I couldn't do it from my phone, so I'm sharing it out from my computer. So if you are watching the playback of this, know that the majority of my videos are conducted live. This is not a pre-recorded video where it just goes straight into the content. This is a live broadcast, so I do have to share it out. I have to wait for the algorithm to kind of do its thing so that we get people on, because it's a Q&A. This is not a like pre-planned class or session and things. Even if it was, I would still wait for people to come on, because the whole purpose of doing the live videos is to interact with the audience. If I did not want, that aspect of it, I would just do pre-recording. So if you are someone that you don't really care for, I guess, the lesson or the questions or just the content starting right away, my channel may not be the best option for, at least not any of our like more recent videos. We have a lot of stuff from when I was doing kind of like my pre-recorded days, but this is a live video. I do have to like I said, share it out, all that kind of good jazz. And we will get started momentarily. In the meantime, between time, if you happen to be on this live broadcast while we are live and while I am sharing it out, feel free to go ahead and start putting your questions in the chat so that we have some questions in the queue. It can be on Silhouette, Canva, business, Photoshop, sublimation, troubleshooting, whatever questions you have. Feel free to go ahead and drop. This is our last one for 2024, and going into 2025, these sessions will look a lot different and be less frequent. I'm working on some other things on another side of one of our businesses, so I won't be doing as many of these anymore. So definitely take advantage whenever you do see me kind of go live. Definitely take advantage of the fact that I am live, because they will be not as many of them in the new year. All right, so we are now officially all shared out. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. I'm hoping tomorrow and every day thereon from tomorrow is great as well. Have you got, no, you guys, I mean, you're on the same time zone, so you guys haven't hit the new year yet either. So we're not in the new year. So for anyone that is saying it, I'm sorry, I'm not able to say Happy New Year back, because I don't believe in saying that before the new year, because anything, technically could happen. I am very grateful to make it to wake up on the last day of 2024, but waking up on the first day of 2025 is not guaranteed to anyone. So I try not to jinx it, and I don't really say the whole Happy New Year before the new year happens. So there's that. So for anyone that is dropping it, know that I'm not being rude and not saying it back. I just don't believe in saying it before we actually hit the new year. So that's that. But I am Shakeya, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products, as well as 365 Creative Academy, where we have a multitude of classes available. Today is the last day to take advantage of the 50% off. If you're in Creative Lounge, it's a 60% off coupon. You just have to go to the Creative Lounge to click on the link to take advantage of that, as well as the BOGO, buy one, get one, 90% off. It is the last day of that, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will go away. With our summation paper, you can submit as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. Get great, vibrant colors, full saturation, just using the plain paper setting. It is not required that you use premium matte, which uses a lot more ink and takes a lot longer to print. So if you have not checked out our products, definitely go and check them out. And so I am your resident silhouette expert. I have been using Silhouette Studio or just a Silhouette system for about 11 years now. I've been teaching it for about 10. Although I already had a background in graphic designing through, via Adobe products, as well as like Corel Draw. I came across Silhouette system, and even from way back when, version 1.9, just the interface of it and the way that it was set up, the things that you can do in a program that was absolutely free. I fell in love with it, and I have been sharing it with others, since then. I use Silhouette Studio as a way to introduce people to graphic designing. You do not have to have a machine in order to use Silhouette Studio. It is a standalone graphic designing software. Anybody can use it to bring in images and layer images, type out text and choose different fonts, add colors to them, add offsets and strokes and all sorts of things. Anybody can do that in the free version. You can print directly from Silhouette Studio without any restrictions. You don't have to have your registration marks turned on. You can, create something 8 feet by 8, like a full backdrop or banner, and then be able um, to print that out, to be able to save that. Unlike, Cricut Design Space, where once you go and you flatten something to do a print and cut, it automatically adds the registration mark. With Silhouette Studio, you can choose to turn those registration marks on or off. Which makes it great for those who want to get into, like sublimation. It gives you a program to be able to size and resize from, to print out your summation prints or just print out your prints for stickers, and be able to do a full page. If your printer does, what is it called? Borderless. You are able to set it up and print borderless from Silhouette Studio. You would not be able to do that from something like Cricut Design Space. So I've dedicated 10 years to just, introducing and just constantly teaching from this platform. Do I use other programs? Yes, I do. I don't believe in my line of business with being a creator and, creating custom items, and my business relying heavily on graphic designing. I don't believe that one program will ever suffice. I work through a combination of programs from Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, Illustrator, PixArt, Canva. So those are like, some of the programs that I use on a regular basis. I'm not going to say on a daily basis, but on a regular basis, I am filtering through any of those programs, not including, the ones that I use for videos and, video editing and things of that nature. I use a lot of graphic designing programs. They each serve a purpose, but the majority of my audience are newbies looking to kind of get their feet wet. So I'm always trying to encourage them to at least download Silhouette Studio, because there's a lot that you can do with it. And once you learn the foundations of creating designs and putting things together in Silhouette Studio, it does make learning other programs that much easier. So that's why I choose to teach from Silhouette Studio. So I see that we have some questions. Well, we have a question in the queue already. So we're going to go ahead, jump right into that. This is our last Q&A. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, drop a, hey, how you doing as you come in. That helps the algorithm. If you are somebody that plans to rely on social media in 2025, to help your creative endeavors, especially if you're monetizing and you want people to be able to see your content, to be able to order things from you, you're going to need interaction. So give to the algorithm what you would like to see back. If you want to see people interact with your content and comment on it, give it a like, share it out, you need to do, or you should do the same for others. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump in right here. I use your sublimation paper. What is the time you normally use when sublimating the Dollar Tree oven mitts? Everything that we do is 365, 30 seconds. If it is polyester, it is going to be 365, 30 seconds. That is the joy of our paper. Once you find a setting, and now I would say for me, I use 365, 30 seconds, because that is what's ideal for just about anything. Once you find what works for, let's say, like a t-shirt, you are going to be able to use that for, for everything. And I say that because not everyone's heat press is of, great quality. Not everyone's heat press match, like the output temperature does not always match what it shows on the display. There can be like some issues. Even with my Hottronics, I paid $2,000 for it, and I still had to go in and calibrate it because it was 20 degrees off. So you want to use a heat gun to test out the temperature that it is outputting. You want an output temperature of at least 365, and 30 seconds works for everything except ceramic, glass, acrylic, and slate. Everything else you can press at the same exact temp and time. That's the joy of our amazing sublimation paper. First timer. Well, hello, Hope. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully, this won't be your last time. It doesn't show me because I'm broadcasting to 2 different YouTube channels right now. My Silhouholics Anonymous, which is dedicated to all things Silhouette Studio, Silhouette Cameos. I do own 7 of them. And then we have Honestly Speaking, which is kind of our generalized, channel for all things creative and also showcasing our sublimation paper and ink. Whichever channel you're on, welcome, welcome. And we invite you to ask whatever questions you have. This might seem too good to be true that you have an industry expert in a wide variety of areas coming on and saying, hey, pick my brain. What is it that you want to know? What can I help you understand better? What can I help you learn today? So all open, feel free to drop your. Now, there are some things that, I'll always lead you in the right direction. Some things, like if it's going to take like the whole entire session for me to go through and like show certain things, I'm not able to do that, of course. But if I can lead you in the right direction to get you going, it's just, maybe kind of fill in some of those gaps of another video you watch. You're trying to figure out a process or figure out how to do something on Silhouette Studio. I'm always here to help. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Thank you guys so very much for hopping on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If I can just get you guys to give the video a thumbs up, drop a hey, how you doing? That helps the algorithm. If you are able to share it out, I would appreciate shares as well. But you commenting, you giving the video a thumbs up. If you're watching over on YouTube, you have to click out of the live chat and then go over and give the video a thumbs up. I need help with a website and taking pictures. Are you trying to decide on which website platform to use? And as far as taking pictures, I'll need a little bit more than you're saying taking pictures. What is it that you just don't like your pictures? Is it do you need to, is it the camera or phone that you're using? Is it that you're more so needing help with understanding lighting and how to position it? Do you stage your pictures? Do you what is it that you're making? Is it a small item? Is it a large item? Do you need stands? If it's shirts, do you need to have mannequins? Or are you wanting to just kind of lay it flat and take? There's a lot of aspects to taking pictures. So just need a little bit more information on what it is that you're doing now. What is it that you don't like? And what areas, which specific areas do you need help in? Incredible greetings. I tried to stage, but I have no luck. So when you say you don't have any luck, what is it? Is it just that you don't care for the pictures and how they're coming out? Is it too dark? Is it too bright? What exactly is going on? And this is why I encourage you guys to enroll in our creative lounge, because it might be a little bit harder to kind of get your thoughts across when you're trying to type it out. But with our creative lounge, we have sessions like live Zoom sessions where you're able to unmute, you're able to verbalize it, you're able to maybe share some of the things and really pinpoint, share a picture, show us what you've done, and I'm able to direct you from there. If you have not checked out our creative lounge, I encourage you to check that out. Even if you try it out, let's just say just for the month of January, you want to see how it works out just for 1 month. I encourage you guys to, sign up, attend the live sessions that you get the most out of your month, especially if you only plan to stick around for 1 month. So here on our 365 Creative Academy website, if you just go down here to where it says Creative Lounge, you can subscribe to that. It is a monthly subscription to be able to get access to the Creative Lounge and the live Zoom sessions that we have every single week. To everyone that has come in, I see the numbers have gone up some. Welcome, welcome. This is our last live in with the professor. So feel free to drop your questions. Well, with these sessions, it is not me necessarily coming in with like a class or a demo or anything like that. These sessions are driven by you, the audience. What is it that you need help with? I've been doing this for 26 years. I am someone where I do a lot of research. I do a lot of testing. So I've kind of figured out, most things, on my own or just by, like I said, doing a lot of research, trial and error and things of that nature. And I would like to be able to help you. I know some of you guys are frustrated with different areas of like your creative journey. So I open up these sessions to share my 26 years of expertise in all the different areas that I have worked in, everything from event planning and doing balloons to sublimation, eco solvent printing, designing, sublimation, I said sublimation, Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, Canva, Creative Fabric, sizing, tracing, point editing, whatever it is that you are struggling with, and you could use some expert help. And I'm here to help you in our last live with the professor. The size of designs do not decide. Wait, I'm sorry. The size of designs do not decide print on paper. I need you to reword that. I'm missing something there. Can you reword that, please? Hello, superstar. Peace all tuning in from Delaware, came over from the Facebook Live. Welcome. I work mostly from my iPad and struggle with print sizing. Okay, so if you're working from your iPad, does that mean that you pretty much create your designs in either Canva or Cricut Design Space if you are a Cricut user? And when you what is it that you print? Are you doing like designs for shirts, for DTF, for sublimation? Are you creating things like stickers, labels, cards, chip bags? What is it that you are designing and creating? Okay. The size of designs on the screen do not match when it prints using Silhouette. So it should match. It depends on what it is that you are like creating or what is it you're doing. Are these designs that you are creating yourself where you're typing things out and filling in with color? Are you using SVGs? Are you bringing in images that are JPEGs and PNGs? What is it that you are working with? Are they like pre-made designs from places like Creative Fabrica, designbundles.net? Are you getting things from Etsy? Is it AI files like as in like the AI image file, like image creator type files? What is it that you are working with where you're like the sizing is not matching up once it prints out? Okay, so Canva, printing with an Epson printer. I do mostly 20 or 30 ounce tumblers. Okay, perfect. Here's the thing when it comes to Canva, and this is where the issue lies for a lot of people. Well, before I say that, let me ask this question. When you are designing in Canva, your design page size, what size is that design page? Let's say for a 20 ounce tumbler, right? What size do you create the design on? And once you go and you save that, like you create it, you're ready to save it, i.e. download it, are you just going to file print to print it? Or do you bring it into a design software to be able to print it? So that's two things, okay? I size a square on the screen and fill it. Okay, so that should line up. If you are actually coming over here to pick a square and you make the square and you fill it in, it should definitely be the size. I've never had an issue with that. Only time that this might be off is if in your print settings you are choosing things like fit to page or like putting some type of scaling on it. But if you were to go and let's say make a square, rectangle, wherever it is, and you're going up here, whether it's here or on this icon, which is your transform panel, the second one is scale, right? So down here for specific dimensions, it is the same as doing it up here. So either up here or over here, it's going to be the same. Or you can just drag it and pull it to a specific size. Now with Silhouette, I'm going to go over to Canva real quick. I'm just going to pick anything for now. So like, let's say if you were to come over here and you were to put a shape, as you are pulling this, like it allows you to kind of go up, down. Even once you let it go, you still can kind of grab it and go like that, right? Well, with Silhouette, you cannot do that. So once you pull, like once you have it on screen, it's going to just move proportionally. Now, when you first start it, you can go up, down, make it where it's thin, things of that nature. But once you let it go and you release it, you cannot just pull it like from here and pull it out and like, just like we can in Canva. So you would have to use your scale in order to get that to be a specific size. But if you set this to 3x3, 4x4, because you're saying a square, it should print out. Anything shape wise, SVG wise, the dimensions that you put in there, it should come out to that. Now, when you're working with text, it's a little bit different. If you're working with a JPEG or a PNG that has a lot of negative space around it, it's a little bit different. But something like a shape, it should come out exactly to the size that you put in. If it is not, like I said, it only other thing that it could be is when you go to print it. And so if we go over here to print, I use Epson printers. Now, does depend on like the printer that you're using, but for the most part, settings are about the same. You can figure out where it is on yours. But under like more options, there are things where some people will click right here where it says reduce or enlarge, right? And they're like, oh, well, I want it to be like, I want it to fit, like, I want it to be like that size, whatever. So they'll go to fit to page. When you print that out, it will change the size. It'll change the size of it. So if you do any type of scaling or anything like that, that will affect the size of your print. So we want to make sure that there is nothing selected here. You also want to make sure that like your output size is the same as the document size. And it's no difference in that, because if you go and you say it's document size 8.5 by 11, but your output paper is 11 by 17, it could make it appear smaller on that 11 by 17. So you want to make sure that your print settings are accurately set as well. That's just as important as the design that you are creating. Okay, so 9.3 by 8.2. I save it, pull the file into the printer software. So the printer software, are you using like Epson Edge? Do you have like a converted Epson, like an Epson EcoTank printer, like 2800, 4300, 8550, 15,000, 72, like those? Or do you have like an F570, an F170 that uses Epson Edge? Okay, so you have an Epson L1250. So you are using like the Epson RIP software. Okay, so I've never used that one as far as like Epson Edge. So it just really depends on if when you open it up, if you're able to set a design page size. So whether it's through their RIP software or it's through like, how can I say it? Or through a different program, I don't know that system. So I don't know if you go in and you create a design page size. It's called, like when you come over here, it'll say, well, it'll say page setup, right? This is not for me. And when I'm designing and when I'm teaching, I don't teach to necessarily make this the size of your design. What this should be is the size of the paper you are going to print to. When you know that you are going to print, this needs to be the size paper that you are going to print to. So from Canva, if you are creating your design at 9.3 by 8.2, so we're just going to come over here and I'm going to go over to custom size. We're going to change this to inches and we're going to make our width 9.2. No, I'm sorry, 9.3 by 8.2. Okay. So I'm just going to put something randomly here. Let's just go to elements and let's go. All right. So we're just going to kind of create something here. All right. Okay. So if I now go and I'm going to download this, right? We're going to make it a JPEG because there's no transparent pixels to this. And we're just going to go download. All right. So I'm going to open this up. Here, if I were to send this to print from here, right? Again, I don't know this particular printer and like if it has like a RIP software, if it has like Epson Edge or anything like that, if it has a print manager, you know, or even what size, because that's a, let me see, let me look it up. Epson L1250. Okay, so when I looked that up, wait, where are you located at? When I looked that up, at first it came up, it said something for Philippines, and basically it's an EcoTank printer. So is this what your printer looks like? Because this is what came up when I searched Epson L1250. So at first it was saying like Epson Philippines, because there's some model numbers that we don't have those same model numbers for us. Okay, so that's a regular, like for us, that's a regular Epson like EcoTank printer, right? I don't have, like, we have drivers, but there's no program. Like when we utilize like these printers, there's no program for it. So when you're saying that you're using the Epson software, do you mean the Epson drivers, or is there like a specific download or software that came with like your printer wherever you are located? Oh, you're in Georgia, but you have that one? I don't know, because that printer doesn't come up for me. It These are this is what comes up. Like it's like it takes me to like EcoTank printers. So I'm not sure about the whole L. Okay, I see one here, and it's just how much where'd you get it from? An app came with it. Well, I don't know of any apps because no apps come with the US versions of it. Where'd you get the printer from? She said the app came with it, but I don't know of, yeah, because see, these are all like that particular model is like a Europe based or an international model. It's not one that's really made for the US versions. Okay, so you're just using, oh, I forgot, you use your iPad. Okay, never mind. I forgot. So that's not really like a software. I forgot. You said you're using your iPad. You're not using a computer. So whenever you want to send from a mobile device, it's sending you like the Epson Smart. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm there now with you. Okay, so the same thing is going to kind of happen like when we go to print from here, right? So I don't get all of the settings. Like if I were to go to Silhouette and it has what's called a driver, right? We go here, we go to print, and we get this screen that allows us to do all these really like all these different settings and really dial it into how we want to print it. When you are printing directly from a photograph or you're printing from a mobile device, you don't really get all of those options because you're printing from a mobile device. But it still kind of operates kind of the same as I'm going to show you here, in that you can go either 8.5 by 11. Like you can tell it, hey, I want to print this to 8.5 by 11. I want to print it to 8.5 by 13, 8.5 by 14. You have all of these different things depending on like, how your printer, like the size restrictions for your printer. So even if I were to go 8.5 by 11, whenever you're printing through the Epson Smart or just like on the computer, it does not, it senses it, but it's not going to make it where it now fits on 8.5 by 11 paper. So what happens is, so I'm going to go to like more settings. Actually, no, let's go back. Let's cancel. Okay. So here you only have two options, either fill page, shrink to fit. From your phone, it's kind of sort of similar to that, right? So if I was to go fill the page, it's now going to change the size of this, and it's going to try and make this 8.5 or this 9 by 3. It's going to stretch it out to where that reaches 11, or if the height is 8.5, it's going to adjust to that. So it's going to seem off if you're telling it to fill the page. If you shrink it to fit, it is going to make it smaller. Okay. You cannot take your design and simply just print it from the JPEG or the PNG and expect it to be sized properly. Okay. It has to be brought into an actual design program that's going to have the page size set, or you have to bring it back into Canva. So you guys see how this looks here. It's not going to print correctly. I don't even think I can do print preview from here. And then of course, this also has borderless printing on. We don't want to do borderless printing. That stretches out your image as well. But this isn't going to allow me to really do, it's not going to allow me to do, what's the word I'm looking for? Print preview. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cancel this. So what you would need to do once you create your design, since you are working from an iPad and not a computer, Silhouette Studio does not have a really good like mobile version. They have like a web version, but it's not like that great. So you would need to take your design and bring it right back into Canva, but as a on a different size page, right? So the joy of being on the computer is I can open up multiple tabs. From the app, you can only work on one design at a time, but I'm going to go ahead and open up another tab. And so this time around, I'm not going to set my design page to the size of my Tumblr. You now have to set the design page to the size paper that you are going to print to. So you would go over to custom size, and we need to make this 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 8.5. I'm going to end up rotating it. And you would have to bring your design back in to Canva. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to drag and drop it over here, right? I want to go over to position, and I need to make sure that this is the right size, because right now it's not. I'm going to lock it, and I know my width should be 9.3. My height should instantly jump to 8.2. Boom. So we hit enter, right? So here's our design, and I need to rotate it only because I did 8.5 by 11 instead of 11 by 8.5. Now that I have, oh wait, let's go 9.3. Okay, there we go. Now that I have this, you kind of just position it in the middle somewhere. You have to re-download this. You get to download it again. This is a must, okay? If I was using Silhouette Studio, I would have my design page set to 8.5 by 11 already. And then when I brought in that image, it's going to be at 9.3 by 8.2. I can go ahead and rotate that, put it here, and then I will be able to print. I'm telling it where to print at on this 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I don't have to like do anything. I can just bring it in, print it, and I don't have to resave it. I can just close this out because I have the original file saved in the right size. So it prevents me from having extra data and extra files on my computer. So going back to Canva, once you have this on the page, like I said, you do have to go back into download it, and it can be a JPEG. You want it to be a JPEG so you can see the white around it, and you'll take it to quality. I'm not going to take mine up. I'm just going to go download. All right. So now with this one, we see the white around it. When you go to send this to print and it's fit to page, well, guess what? The file itself now is not 9 inches. It is 8.5 by 11. So it's going to print it, and the actual design in the middle will be the size that you want. Okay. So that's what you have to do when you're working with Canva. You have to bring it back in to then put it on the proper page size. Printing directly from your image, no matter what it is, you're not going to get an accurate size when you're printing directly from it if you're not able to size it and move it around and all that kind of good jazz. Like, let's say if I were to come back over here and I made my page size 8.2 by 9.3, and I'm going to center it, and we're going to go print. I'm going to go here. We're just going to choose this. I'm going to go print preview, and I'm going to hit OK and print. So see here, because I was able, like, it's a driver. So it's not like the other one. And, I couldn't even do print preview. It's a driver. So I'm able to do this, and it will just put it right up to the edge, like within the borders, and be able to print this out. So you either need a program that you can bring your design in and set it to the page, or you have to create a new design, put it there, and then resave it where it has all of the white negative space, and that negative space is the rest of the page. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let's see here. Is there a way to knock out a color of garment of an image so shirt can breathe? It just depends on what it is that you're like, what type of image it is. If it's like a full color one, you would definitely need something like Photoshop to be able to do that. And then you would use, you can use like different channels, or you can go to where you would select by color. You would go in, sample one of those colors, and when it selects it all, you would basically delete those pixels so that the shirt kind of comes through in those areas. If it is a vector-based design, yes, you can basically omit that area of the design to where the shirt comes through, but it really, really depends. I cannot give like just a blanketed like answer to it because that truly depends on the image itself, and how you would go about doing that. Let's see. I'm printing from an Epson 7720. Does premium presentation matter? Yes, it does. Because it's laying down more color, and it's putting more and more layers of color on it, it does affect the color. It does change it a little bit. She says, light bulb moment. Any other questions? I'll go here too. I want to show like, because it has a driver, if I go to my 11 by 17 version and then go okay and then print. See, it adjusts and pushes it up to the top. Now, it's not going to maximize this for you where it's only, doing half of it. I would need to rotate that. And I think if I rotate it, it will basically do it. But you can see it just moves it over to the furthest edge to the top and side, even if I was to send this to an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. Incredible greetings. Welcome, welcome. Okay, full color image on. So if it's a full color image in Silhouette Studio, that's not something that you can do in Silhouette Studio because you cannot select pixels in Silhouette Studio. So like this would be like a full color. You cannot just select those pixels. So that's not something that you will be able to do from Silhouette Studio. All right, so I had about like 15 minutes. We have a movie date starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we got about 15 minutes or so to answer any questions that you guys have for me and my 26 years of expertise. Okay, let's see. What do you have coming for 2025? Trying to catch up. What do you mean? What do I have coming for 2025? Less, you guys, well, they will see less of me. So I guess that's what's coming is less of me in 2025. Access to me will not be the same. I'm not doing as many live videos. I'm not doing as many just like random craft classes. I'm going to be very intentional. It's going to be kind of my year is going to be kind of repetitive. I'm not chasing all of, which I really don't, but I'm really, really kind of locking in on the things that I will teach So it's not going to be kind of like all over the place for like the actual like structured classes. Now, creative lounge, things like that is kind of where I can explore a few more things, but there's going to be a lot more focus and even more intentionality to the things that I do. There's going to be no new products. I'm not looking to add, sticker paper or regular paper. I'm not looking to add any of those. So we're not looking at any new products. If I'm being honest, I want to kind of streamline what we're doing now, and maybe even kind of scale back on some of those things. So 2025 for me and some of the things that I'm going to do really won't include teaching. I'm actually working on a lot of like actual products that I am designing from scratch for preschoolers and up. A lot of learning aids and creating actual products. So I'm going to put more of my design skills to work. So it won't really be a lot of things that you guys would see that we're working on for our business. Um, Setting up my 8550. I need to add my settings to the print properties. Yeah, it is easier when you create the presets. I actually did go, and because I know like how MJ is, I don't really care for the full on butter popcorn. I like light butter, but he used to always tell me, like, he used to ask me why am I getting that. I prefer the light butter, but I did get regular butter popcorn for MJ, and I got me some Cracker Jacks, which I probably should have brought two because I get a feeling he's gonna take half of my Cracker Jacks. So I probably should have got two bags. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, I got Cracker Jacks and full butter popcorn, although I actually prefer light. All right. Well, you guys can't say I didn't offer, and this is one of the reasons why. Like, I come on here, this worked well when I first started this 10 years ago. Maybe because Silhouette Studio was fresh. It was the program that gave more versatility because so people were used to the limitations of Cricut Design Space, and it did well. Now with the onset of like Canva and things like that, it's just people just don't ask questions anymore. There's a lot more Facebook groups now, so I guess people just kind of go there for their information. So when you ask Miss Wood, like, what's coming up for 2025, I'm actually kind of cutting back on a lot of these because they don't have the same hit like they used to. People don't ask questions like they used to. So I'm just not going to make myself available because it becomes just not a great use of time to spend all this time like on these Q&As, and you have to like pull teeth to get people to ask questions. So in 2025, unfortunately, these will become fewer and fewer and fewer in 2025. I finally calibrated my Cricut mat. Had to go back and watch the video from 5 years ago. Came out perfect. It's gonna always come out perfect. It's a tried and true. It's a fail safe. Like it's just you cannot go wrong when you watch the video and doing it. 10 years from now, it's going to be the exact same process and it will work. So I'm glad that it worked out for you to help you get better print and cuts. Because silhouette mats are not the greatest. I do prefer a good Cricut mat. I mean, I get that, but the OG ones, you guys are not in a beginner stage, and while I could teach more advanced things, I'm like, when I do come on, if you want advanced stuff, you got to join a class. All of my content here will just be surface level, beginner level type things. It's like those who are just being introduced to it. That is what my content will be. So for a lot of others, it's going to be like the same stuff over and over and over again. I'm almost going to be like, it's going to seem like I'm speaking from a script because I will be showing the exact same thing over and over and over and over, just in repetition for those who are beginners, and anything advanced and really getting to like all the good stuff that will be in dedicated classes. So yeah, for all of the OG silhouette users, this definitely will not be a platform where you're going to be able to like really grow and excel. And just scale up from, because unless you kind of watch, you go back to like all the old ones, but going, it's almost going to be like a full reset, and I'm going back to the beginning. My platforms will be information for beginners and beginners only. I'm not showing any advanced techniques. I'm not showing any intermediate techniques. It's going to be all beginner based. The designs are going to be very basic, very beginner. That is what both platforms are going to. And you can still learn. It's just not on the free platform. And I'm not taking it away. There are places where you can go and be in the room to learn more, but it's so I'm not necessarily getting rid of it's just it doesn't make sense to go and do this on a regular basis. And I don't see the likes, so I don't know it's helpful because no one likes it. They're not sharing it. You guys aren't asking questions. So from my perspective, looking at the interaction and the engagement, I don't need to do these as often and as much. I just need to kind of just stick to the basics. Aw, thank you. Thank you. Again, last call, guys. Last call, last call. You are able to ask questions on silhouette, sublimation, party favors, what was I saying? Photoshop, Canva, entrepreneurship, what other stuff I've kind of taught? Phone board, uh, troubleshooting. Whatever question you have, now is the time to ask because my platform will not be like this come 2025. I'm telling you now. Will I have more in-person classes? I don't know. I mean, that one was cool. I don't know if I'm like the travel person. I'm not going to say that I took a lot of enjoyment in that. I'm hoping that maybe I will be like invited as a guest speaker for maybe some things. But as far as me doing it myself, that was a lot. I don't have that type of team and kind of stuff set in place. It's a lot of work. Even when I was trying to do the ones like when I planned to go to Texas, but then we had a really, really busy hurricane season, and I was kind of afraid to travel and end up getting stuck in a storm. All of that stuff it's a lot of work. It was a little bit easier when I did it in Atlanta. The location kind of was in my lap, but trying to coordinate and do all that stuff with what I'm doing, I just can't handle all of that. So I don't know. But if it's something where I'm invited to kind of go and do things like that, maybe I do plan to do one here. So as far as me traveling and doing all of that, I can't do it. And I can't, I know within the first half of the year, I definitely won't be able to, but I am planning some things for here in South Florida and people can come to me. But as far as me going out, yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. Um, you have such valuable information. I appreciate that you shared. Those that are new and aren't taking advantage are really missing out. Yeah, as I said, I mean, I don't want to say that if they're missing out or it's just what I teach, they just don't want. Like they want to come to me when they run into trouble and they can't get the answers. Like that's the thing that I want. Like those are the boundaries that I'm also trying to like set and kind of. I know I said 9 o'clock that I'm trying to kind of like set and break where it's like people want to run to me and come to my inbox and want personalized help because they've looked everywhere else. They get all this like quick type stuff. And when it's not working and they're tired of like wasting supplies, they want to come to the person that's then going to give them detail. Like, yeah, I'm just not allowing myself to be used like that anymore. I've tried so hard to really share and it just, it's okay. Like it took a lot of therapy to be okay with this and kind of come to grips with it. But I have to be okay with moving on. And when you've kind of like, when whatever you have done has run its course, being okay with letting it go. And that's not just for me, that's for anyone. If a part of your business has run its course, it's not serving you well, the orders are not coming in, the requests are not coming in for certain things. Yeah, you may have purchased all of these supplies and you have a stock load of like a shitload of supplies. But if the demand for it has now gone down, you have to be okay with transitioning and pivoting and letting go of that, focusing on something new, creating, something else that's going to be like your moneymaker or just be the thing that fulfills you. We all have to be okay with that when things start to change in our lives. Like this goes for relationships that no longer serve you well, being, just releasing those relationships, those friendships, those situationships. That is something that is inevitable for everyone. And for me, the Q&A and like this level of access and help, to me, it has just run its course. Is there a specific print setting for the printer if you want to print longer than the standard print setting for all over sublimation? It just depends on the paper size that you are using. So every single Epson printer allows you to print up to 47 inches long. Most people don't know that. So a lot of people think they have the small format printer and all they can print is 8.5 by 11. Some people are literally just realizing that they can use the 8.5 by 14 inch paper. But you can actually go, I'm going to go down here to user define. It tells you right here. So it's not like something that was hidden. If you ever went into your settings, it tells you right there, like the max size. Like it tells you the smallest size that you can do with, and for the height. So you can go up to 47 inches long. If you have the 8550, you can actually go up to 87 inches long. So if you wanted to, let's say if you're trying to piece it together for an all over shirt, you could create your design, set it up. There is a way for you. I don't show it on here. Now I can show you like just kind of breaking it up because I have videos on that. Now the easy way of doing it, I only teach that in a paid class because there is a slightly easier way of doing it. Others may have shown it, but if you want to learn it from me, I don't show it on just because other people are showing it for free on platforms. For me, it's in one of my classes. But you are able to print. So let's say you don't have rolls. So we sell rolls of sublimation paper. We actually found some. We didn't. We were kind of. I was going through the whole decluttering process and cleaning out, organizing. In the middle, because when we shifted and moved everything, we didn't realize that there were boxes on top of things. So tomorrow, even supposed to go through the inventory, we actually do have some rolls that were hidden on boxes underneath. So as we were doing our end of the year inventory and things like that, we found some rolls. But because of, he's just going to wait till the new year to put them on the website. But we do have rolls where you would just kind of cut that down. But if you don't have the rolls, you can pre-tape several sheets together. So if you have the 8.5 by 14, it would take less sheets to get to 47 inches compared to just using the 8.5 by 11 inch size. So you overlap it about a half an inch and then you tape it and then you're able to feed that through and have one long print. So let's say if this was for a shirt and we're just going to make this, let's say, I'm going to try and get it like somewhere 36 by, okay, so we're at 30. All right, so let's just say here, we're at 27 by like 31. If you only had an 8.5 inch wide printer, that would be 8 by 47. Didn't mean to lock it. So we're going to go 8 by 47. Which you really don't have to do 47 because this is only 27. So we can go, I would say 8 by like, let's say 28, 29, somewhere in there. And you will be able to like print this out. So it would end up being 1, 2, 3. So 4 prints. So you would set this up to where you could print out and like cut them up. So I'll just go like this. And I need to do just a little bit of overlap. So you would be able to break it up and print them in basically 4 sections, like long pieces, and then be able to tape those long pieces together. So you can do it that way to be able to do the longer prints. So in your print setting, you have to go in, and we have a full video on how to adjust your print settings. This is not something, I don't know how to do it like from a mobile device. I don't think I've ever done it from a mobile device to, set it to longer prints. But when you're printing from a computer, you want to set the drivers, and then you can go to user define, and you can set it up, and you can save that as a preset. So you can see right here, I have a 12 by 47 inch banner, or a 12-inch sub roll, or 13-inch, or HS Ink 13-inch sub roll. So that's how you'll be able to do that. Us newbies just don't know the questions to ask until we hit problems, but thank you so much for your help. Okay, so it's not that it has to be a problem, right? You are a newbie to this. Do you search, do you go looking for YouTube videos on how to do things? When you're in groups, how did you know that you wanted to do sublimation? So what questions did you have about sublimation? Was it, what could you sublimate to? What are, like, what are some different things I can sublimate to? Anything that you search for in a YouTube video, guess what? That is a question that can be asked. So I'm not here just to help you like troubleshoot. You are seeking answers every single day. If you're in groups, if you're watching YouTube videos, you have certain interests, you want to be able to create certain things. Those are questions. It's not about answering a problem. It's just, hey, this is I was wondering about this. I saw this. Do you have any insight on it? Those are still questions. So the vault was never meant like, I guess like for me, people kept asking about like the things that I create. Some people have asked for like some other things. I'm not a kind of create a template for everything. Like the vault was meant for me to share the things that I had created and you guys like. So it's like kind of like to put it all in one place. I don't do a lot of these, like, I guess all these 30,000 different crafts. So if it's not something that I'm actually doing and creating that I want to be able to share, I'm not going to put it in there. Like I spent a lot of time like creating different things to kind of like put in there. Like I'm not someone that does like that wraps everything. When you're talking about the event world, you have people that rap not just like your Pringles and chips. You got people that's rapping like and creating designs for like Pop-Tarts and like cereal. They're doing like all the different types of candy. Like, yeah, for me, I don't have time for that. I don't, want to create the sizing and all of that. Now, if it ever comes across to where, let's say I did it for my kids and I now have that template, sure, I'll drop it in there. But for other stuff that I'm not creating for, I don't create templates just randomly. I'm not in the business of selling templates. So I don't go and just create them on the fly. When I create a template, it's because I got an order for it and I need to be able to reuse it too. So it then ends up going in like the vault. But yeah, anything that I haven't done myself, I'm not stressing myself out to put any and every craft trend that comes out and just like putting it in there. She says, I never knew that. My mind is blown. Yes, everyone always thinks that they're limited to the paper size, but you can print up to 47 inches. And you are showing it. You are showing out those popcorn boxes. Absolutely amazing. I've always been afraid of Silhouette Studio, but you made it look so easy. If you go and you take the class, a lot of people are intimidated by it because there's like so many buttons and things like that. It's kind of like, people being afraid of, Photoshop. They feel like, oh no, I'm not a professional. I can't do this. A lot of people think that like, Cricut Design Space, like that's the easier version. That's like the craft version. Silhouette Studio is a craft cutter as well. The program just offers a few more, tools and things of that nature. That's why I don't teach Silhouette Studio. Like, I try my best not to teach it as like just Silhouette Studio. I teach you graphic designing concepts and principles that can apply to any program. These are things that are going to be universal. Now, there are certain things within the program, like how to use the trace function, how to use, point editing and things of that nature, and subtract and crop, and that's where Essentials of Silhouette Studio comes in. My Essentials of Silhouette Studio, I know it's like, I don't know, I don't understand. Some people just don't want to pay for trainings and teachings and things like that. But the way that my Essentials of Silhouette Studio is set up, is it meant for you to master it in 30 days? Absolutely not. Okay. I taught it over the course of 30 days initially to show you all the tools and functions, but you have to keep working at it. You can't, beat yourself up when you kind of make a mistake. I learned to be great at what I become great at what I do because I write down mistakes. I keep working through it. I don't let it frustrate me. I don't give up. In 26 years, I'm still learning new ways of doing things the way I did it, a few years ago. I've kind of figured out some ways. Okay, this will make this process a little bit quicker once I master certain things. So it's going to be an ongoing process. So the reason why I call it 30 days is not for you to master it, but I have broken down every tool and function over the course of really like 25 days. And then we have the days of just kind of like reviewing and stuff like that. Then we did a 14-week refresher, which you get access to. Anybody that purchased it, whether you enrolled in this in 2022, 2024, if you enroll in 2025, you're going to get access to the original 30 days. You're going to get access to the 14-week refresher and the 10-week refresher. They are the playbacks of it. They're no longer live. I don't plan to do a full-on training session in 2025. If I do, I'll probably make it completely separate. That way I know it's people that are coming in to learn for the first time, because what happens is I'll go and I'll schedule it, but if we don't get new people to really sign up, I've already committed to doing it, and I just get a bunch of old people that are already in it and they're just coming just to sit in a class and they don't ask questions. They're just there just to be there. I don't want that. I have taken a look at version 5. The way this, and I'm going to do a live video tomorrow where I've already changed over one computer to version 5. So like I said, I've taken a look at it. I'm going to be live tomorrow and I'm going to update, not this computer, I'm going to update on the other laptop to version 5 so that you guys can see the process and all that stuff and see version 5. Because I wanted to see, do I need to do another class? And I will end up doing like this is this type situation, but the screen has changed quite a bit, but I don't know if I want to do a full on like class again, just because the icons change, but the system works the same. They haven't really added anything new to it. It's just the way the icons are. To me, I don't really like the look. It looks very amateurish. It looks very, very weird to me. I don't know who told them to, I guess they tried to simplify the look. It looks cheap. Like, I don't understand why they changed it, but you guys will see what I'm talking about tomorrow, because I am going live early tomorrow to download and do my first look to you guys of version 4, of version not 4.5, of version 5 of Silhouette Studio. But this right here, still, even if you have version 5, the screen may look a little bit different, but the principles and all those things remain the same. So I'm still kind of on the fence. And I had said this months ago. I was like, the only way that I would redo it is for version 5 if it was like completely different. It is slightly different. So I'm still like on the fence, but it will not be included in this because everything here is for version 4. In the way version 4 looked. So if I end up doing it again, it won't be included. You would have to purchase access to learn it from version 5. Y'all, I need some tape. and use my rewards. Paid little to nothing, but yes, you better use them reward points. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so MJ has come into the room. I am 8 minutes late for our movie date. I will see, I pray that I will see you guys on the other side of 2024. And I will see you guys in 2025. We're going to kick off 2025 with Silhouette. It's just something that I love. So tomorrow morning, I will be, downloading and just kind of giving a walkthrough of version 5. I'm still on the fence on whether or not I will do another Essentials because it does look different. Some people can't make that transition, that even though I'm saying subtract, like if I tell you like in version 5, okay, this is where subtract is located, it's like because it looks different, they can't make the correlation. This is also, and my issue too is it's going to make it a little bit harder for me because there's a lot of people where their computers are not going to be strong enough to handle version 5, right? They don't have enough memory. They don't have enough hard drive space. So now when I get ready to do classes, if I have a mix of students, now when it was version, whether somebody had version 4.0 or 4.5, the screen essentially still looked the same. Oh, this screen looks completely different for version 5. It looks completely different, completely different. So now I'm like, I've been weighing it, and this is where my focus blueprint. So I've created this, right? So these are things that I wrote down in my focus blueprint when I went through it. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, these are self-reflection questions I've had for myself. How do I plan to do this? Because I don't necessarily want to have to do like 2 separate classes. Oh, this is the class with the people with version 4. This is the class with the people with version 5. Like it's going to be hard because some people, they want to see click for click. Hey, because I get that question all the time. Hey, can you go back? Can you show me where you clicked at? So if I'm still working from version 4.5, but they're on version 5 and I'm saying click here, it's not going to match up because it looks different. So I've gone back and forth with what do I do when it comes to teaching this? Because I'm not going to tell everybody, okay, everybody go over to version 5, because not everybody's systems can handle it. Some people have to stay on version 4.3. They can't even go up to 4.5. So that is going to be a dilemma for me. And that's why, I knew that it was a chance that version 5 was coming, which is why I said I'm not doing anything more to this essentials training. What you have there is what you get, which is why I made sure I kind of did everything before version 5 came out. And if I were to teach Silas to do it as essentials again, it'll be based off of based off of version 5. But you have to make sure that your computer can handle it. If not, the regular essentials would be the best class for you to learn from. Okay. So that's that. But Focus Blueprint is out. The compatibility checklist is on there. The self-assessment, it's 3 parts to the self-assessment: define your why, discovering your focus blocks, and deciding who you want to serve in your business and who you want to sell and market to. That is the first part of it, to kind of help get you going. And the answers that you put there is going to help you with the next section, which is decluttering, because now that you have decided who you want to serve, what's your focus blocks, what is that you want to do, you can declutter and kind of, be okay with getting rid of certain things that don't align with what your why and your who you want to serve. Like it doesn't align with that. So it'll be easier for you to let things go. Once you get through that process, the next step will be goal segmentation. I have 4 goal segmentations that I am going to have in there. And I'm not going to say teach from, but it's things that I'm going to talk about in the support and accountability for mastery, continuous growth, future prep growth, and systems. So systems goals, I said growth. So mastery goals, continuation goals, future prep goals, and system goals. So that will be the next part. And then it's success mapping. So how do we go and we take our goals, kind of going back to our self-assessment and our roadblocks? How do we now map out our success for the next, quarter, the next year, the next couple of years? So that is it's not a class, it's more of a support thing. And you are able to purchase, access to that. It's not this thing where it's going to be, 30,000 classes every single month. It's kind of a once a month, twice a month type deal for a certain period of time. There will be like a cutoff for it. It's not forever and a day, because it should not be taking you forever and a day to kind of complete this. So there will be like a cutoff once we kind of get into like the live sessions and the live support and accountability for those who have signed up for the support and accountability to get through this process and have someone that's really gonna be like, okay, look, you said this is what your goals were. You starting to backtrack. So what is that you want to do? So you want that accountability. It will be within that accountability group. But that's the focus blueprint. If you have not gotten your copy of it, the first 2 sections are completed. They're there. The worksheet, the inventory worksheet is there for you to download to get that process going. So definitely check out the focus blueprint. And 11:59 tonight, all of the classes will go back to regular price. So take advantage of any classes that's on our website. All right. Until next time, guys. I won't say I'm all over the place. I just need to get more organized. Okay. So until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. Of course, everyone, I don't ever take access to classes away. If you've purchased a class, you have access to it. If you purchased this version. Now, we have done several Essentials to Silhouette Studios. We did one in 2022, which is technically still this one, like the way that I did this. I did not do any live classes at all. The rest of 2022, 2023, 2024, I did a refresher and a review. So if you have this version, yes, you have access to, you still have access to it and those 2 additional 14-week and 10-week sessions. If you got like Essentials of Silhouette Studio when I did it in 2021, you do not have access to this. If you did Essentials when I did it in 2020, you do not have access to this. Only those who enrolled in the Essential Silhouette Studio, Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days training that was originally done in March of 2022, you have access. Now, you should still have access if you downloaded it properly. Now, when I did the other ones, we sent out emails saying there will be no more support. We're not going to, if you lose access to this, you have to now go purchase the new one. So those are not hosted on our Academy site. Any classes that you purchase prior to our Academy site, if you did not download them when you were instructed to, I cannot help you. But anything that is on our Academy site and you paid for a class, you have forever access to that class. So, well, I don't know. So I don't know which one you had, Ms. Deidre. So if you had Essentials, Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days, then you have forever access. Any class. So what you would do is you would go over to your Academy dashboard, which is 365creativeacademy.com, and you will go to your dashboard and you will see whatever classes you have there. Whatever classes you have there, as long as it wasn't something that was subscription based and you didn't continue to pay your subscription, you have access to it. If it's not there, but you remember purchasing a class, unfortunately, I have no way of giving you access to that particular class again, because your forever access came with you downloading it. Yeah, if you haven't downloaded anything and it was a class before all of this, you would have to purchase new classes. Okay. Okay. So you have forever access to any classes that are here. When it came to previous classes, this was before I had the Academy site that stored all of our classes. So I have not always had the Academy site. Before, I was teaching it, and then you would get a PDF, and with that PDF, you got access to a um a um a Google Drive that had the playbacks of the videos, and you were instructed to click on those and download them. If that's how you got forever access, it was on your computer, so you would have forever access to them because you downloaded them. If you did not download them and they were just you just purchased it, you just let it sit in the Google Drive. Some of them you still kind of have like access to. If you can find your PDFs for it, we do not send out support, so we do not resend out links for it or anything like that. If you purchase old classes, we sent out emails on multiple occasions way back when, because I have not supported any of that stuff since we started the Academy site. So we're talking years ago, and I sent out emails stating, if we're creating this Academy site, all of our classes will be here. Any other classes, like any class that you have, you will need to go in and download them. We sent out multiple emails, stating that. Now, anyone that has signed up for class or any class that you have, since we have started the Academy site, and it's like a site where it has the dashboard, all of those, you have forever access to it. Just log into, if it's a physical class. If it is something that was a subscription based, that's not something that's like a class that you purchase to have forever access to. If you purchase something that is subscription based, that subscription goes away. And once you're no longer paying into the subscription, you lose access. But we don't have very many like that. Like we had Phone Board, like Creative Lounge. I forgot, there's another one that we had. So it was like only a few for those. But any classes that you have, you do have forever access to them, as long as it's an Academy class. If you did not download anything, you no longer have access to those. You will have to repurchase them to where you would have forever access via the Academy site. So you would go, it's 365creativeacademy.com. That's where I'm at now. 365 Creative Academy. That is our Academy website and I will tell you right now, you only based off of me searching your name, the only ones that I'm showing, you had like the sublimation mask and template design class. You had the sublimation seminar, and you have access to the template vault, and that is it. So you don't have any like actual classes since we've had the Academy site. So that means you have to go and go through your old orders, or kind of go through emails, look for the confirmation emails that will have the links to where your videos were before. But we no longer provide support for that because it's been so many years. What we would have to go through to find all of that, it's just not something that we can do. So yeah, I'm only showing that like actual classes, you only have one. And that's the sublimation seminar. You never enrolled in the most recent, or like the version of Essentials from 2022. We've had that same Essential since 2022. So the class that you had for Silhouette Studio had to have been before 2022. Where can I find the blueprint? So it is here. So once you purchase it on the website, it takes you back to here, which I need to update the description. Most people who signed up for it, they came via the Facebook post, and all the information was on that. I have been talking about in these last two, so I will go in and update the description, but it is on your, actually, I'll just go to like all courses and shit. So it's here. So it is going to be here on your dashboard. That's where you will find the download for the Focus Blueprint. This was years ago, but I sent it. So if you didn't open up your emails, we sent them out. We sent this out back in 2021, 2021, because the essentials was done in 2020, in 2022, but the Academy site has been open since, actually the Academy site has been open since 2020. Since the pandemic is when, no, right after the pandemic, because when we did the, what's the class that we did, Ms. Woods? When we did the designing one with like the banners, and we did like all that stuff was before the Academy sites, when we had like the design boot camp, the party favor boot camp, all of those, that was before the Academy. So the Academy site started probably either late 2020, early 2021. So we're talking several years ago when those emails were sent out. Yes, 365creativeacademy.com is where you can go at to get access to this. But I can tell you, because I think I remember you being a part of one of the boot camps during like the height of the pandemic in 2020. I can't give you access to those. So I would have to go back so many years to even try and find that to send out. And, you know, you would have to go through your emails. Hopefully you haven't deleted them to where you can find that confirmation one and be able to get access to the, what's that thing called? The Google Drive. But that's how everyone got access to it before, was through the Google Drive. And those who had it, they downloaded it through that. I just got my focus. Awesome. Found it. Awesome. Awesome. Yes. See, she says, yes, I saved that in my Google Drive. Those in 2020, those were done via Google Drives. And I sent the email out saying, we are switching over to this platform. Please make sure that you download, because we won't provide support for this platform anymore. So I am going, my love. Thank you so much for reminding me. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to